A driver gave his passengers an ethical lesson through his punishment due to their disrespect for wheelchair. Sclerosis is a disease that affects about 2 million people globally. It is an autoimmune condition that impedes sufferers' ability to move. Therefore, not all people are able to move and use transport freely. For these categories, they need to use a wheelchair. A touching story was shared on Twitter by Accessible Partout and in English, Accessibility for All. This group is a network that aims to defend accessibility rights for the disabled in France. The story happened in Paris about a wheelchair user named François Lebert and a bus driver who had made the perfect punishment for the passengers who refused to give a room for François. On October 18, 2018, the French man was waiting with his brother in the bus station. For him, moving with the wheelchair isn't something easy also for the other handicapped, especially when transporting using the bus. The driver was driving his bus in the usual roads when he arrived to the station where François and his brother were waiting. Usually buses have room for wheelchair users and passengers should respect that. However, it is not always the case. Some passengers do not respect this priority, and this was the case for François. What actually happened is that the passengers didn't give space for him when the bus stopped, and the driver put the access ramp in place. The driver disliked their disrespect, so he gave them a lesson in ethics throughout this punishment. He looked at them and said one sentence, "Terminus, everybody off the bus." His message was clear. His aid was spontaneous, and he didn't know François before. He didn't even think in the time he going to lose when bringing the passengers down, which will affect his work. In his meeting with Huffington Post on October 2018, Lebert continued saying that after the driver came to see me and said, "You and your helper, you can get on, and the others, you can wait for the next one." The gentleman explained his reaction to François and his brother after they went up to the driver, said that any of the departed passengers may use wheelchair in the future. Anything is expected, so they should learn how to respect those people. The affecting incident reached more than 13,000 likes and received 5,000 retweets. 400 of the comments praised the driver's reaction, who must be an idol for other drivers, also all people. One of the retweets said, "A superb reaction from this bus driver," while another added, "Bravo to the driver who emptied his bus to allow the disabled person to get on. Good lesson. I hope the other passengers understood." Not all wheelchair users are lucky as François, and not all the drivers are kind like the one that helped Lebert. After a month from this story of François, Louis Thomas, aged 10 years, and one of the wheelchair users witnessed a disrespect from the bus driver. When he was going with his mother to the hospital, he told him that there weren't enough space for him to went up, then he moved. The mother said to the CCTV film that he had discriminated her son. Doug Pauly was another victim of wheelchair disrespect in 2012 in England, and when he was going to board a bus, a stroller made boarding difficult for him. So he asked the owner of the stroller to move it because that space was for wheelchair users. The latter refused to move it. Doug persecuted her. The judge handed down that wheelchair users must be given priority. Handicapped persons must have special treatment from others. People should learn how to deal with persons less able than themselves. This simple driver gave lessons in humanity. Hopefully, all passengers and people everywhere will learn from this story.